She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We are very blessed that you decided to join us today. I believe that today's show is going to launch you into an awesome day, an awesome week, awesome month, awesome year. Why? Because today's topic is really super important. I know you've heard the phrase before that if you believe, then you will receive. So many people have said it. So many people have believed it, and so few have followed through with it. Today, I'm going to challenge you. In fact, all of us here at DaniJohnson.com and Destiny Global, we're going to challenge you about your beliefs. Are your beliefs limiting you from the success that you desire? Have you encountered some resistance to a goal that you have, a dream, a destiny, and you're thinking because the resistance is there that maybe it's not supposed to be? You know, you've heard it before that if it doesn't go easy, then maybe it's not meant to be. That phrase, meant to be, is the absolute phrase of poverty. It's rooted from poverty. It's rooted from limiting beliefs. It is not going to help you to succeed. You see, there are probably millions of success stories throughout the beginning of history. Throughout the beginning of time, millions of them. And the funny thing is we somehow believe that those who have become successful never had any resistance, never had anything to persevere through, never had it hard. But the reality is they usually have had it harder than everybody else. That's what I have found with studying successful people. You see, 25, almost 26 years ago, I was a homeless woman. And I had encountered the year and a half before a multi-millionaire who I attended many seminars that he had done. In a 6-month period, I spent a lot of money traveling around the country, attending very, very expensive seminars. And what I learned in those events truly shaped my life as a woman, as a business owner, as a philanthropist, as a mother, as a wife, as a grandmother of a multitude of children. I really know that I wouldn't be where I'm at today had I didn't learn what I had learned when I was 19, 20, and 21. Now, one of the key important things that I learned at 19 was to study successful people. That if I wanted to become successful, then I needed to study successful people. I needed to learn from them. I needed to read books about them. I needed to go to their seminars. I needed to rub shoulders with them. I needed to get around them. I needed to hang around them. And these are the times where, there was no YouTube. There wasn't this kind of programming even on television. So I feel very, very blessed that if you're a young person today and you're just starting out and you're hearing me talk about this for the first time, you are so blessed because you have access to a tremendous amount of videos, audios, you name it, of people who are talking about success, that are willing to help you to succeed, that are holding classes, that are writing those kinds of books and spurring you on to moving your life ahead instead of settling for less and settling for mediocrity, but to move yourself beyond that place and to persevere through the hard times. We could be here all day talking about the stories throughout just American history. Just that alone. There are so many stories of crazy adversity that the most successful people who have ever walked this land had to overcome in order to succeed. And yet there are other people that choose to quit the minute they have any kind of resistance at all. So I want you to ask yourself this question. What is hindering your success? What is your definition of success? And what is stopping you? What is limiting you from achieving that success? We're going over to the phones today. We've got some people. We've asked this question on Facebook. We've interviewed a couple of them, and we've asked a few of them to join us on today's program. First, we're going to go over to Susan. Susan is from Loyal, Wisconsin. I want to be from Loyal, Wisconsin. What a great address.
Yep.
That's awesome. Wisconsin's gorgeous. The Grand Tetons are there. Summer or winter, it's beautiful. It's awesome. All right, so Susan, tell us, what is stopping you from having the kind of success that you desire?
My beliefs.
And what are they?
It's amazing what I can come up with. I mean, I know I can do what I'm after, but then all of a sudden something will pop up like, but that's going to take time to build. Mm-hmm. And that's just a lie. I don't even know why that keeps coming to my head.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does take time to build. That's the truth, actually. It does take time. Nothing happens overnight. So what do you mean? Like it's going to take too long, or it's going to take too much time and it's never going to happen? Is that the kind of thoughts that enter your head?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do with them? How do you overcome them? So it's not necessarily somebody in your life that's saying, it's just going to take too long. It's going to be too hard. Like, you don't need someone telling you that. You're just talking to yourself.
I started noticing that I'm actually thinking these things. That was a plus. That's probably part of the reason why it's taken so long, because I keep thinking like that. But I notice it, and then it's like, well, I don't want that, so I got to tell myself it's a lie or try to change what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Or how about this? Susan, why don't you try this? Why don't you purposely direct your thoughts instead? If you keep your mind busy, it doesn't have time to talk to you about what it thinks. And if you keep your mind busy, whether it's busy learning, busy learning new skills, learning new strategies, pouring things into your mind that are not static, that are not mediocre, that are not average. If you're feeding your mind and you're making your mind work, you have made no time or gave no room for your limiting beliefs to control you or talk to you or message you.
Right.
In fact, Susan, when I was homeless, this is really funny. I had a boombox, right? Back in the day when everyone had one of those. I was living out of my car. And I had gotten a hold of some cassette tapes, and they were kind of positive, personal growth cassette tapes. And I had those playing 24/7 because my mind was so toxic. And so I would have, when I let my mind be static, when I just let it be, the thoughts that went through my head were very self-destructive, from anywhere from commit suicide. You'll never be able to trust anyone. This is never going to work. You don't have what it takes. Nobody likes you. Everyone hates your guts. Your best friend has abandoned you. Your parents abandoned you. Your father gave you up for adoption. Your husband left you. You have nothing. You're a whore. You're a druggie. You're an alcoholic. Just kill yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you have no friends. You're a loser, you're worse than your parents. I mean, this is what my mind would be feeding me when I wasn't feeding it. So if those kind of thoughts are coming to you, I want you to counteract it by purposely feeding your mind what is going to be helpful and beneficial to get you to where you want to go.
I do that. I just did this weekend, 13 hours of Tony Robbins. He's awesome.
So
the
now
problem with that is I get so caught up in listening to these people that nothing gets done.
Well, that was my next statement, is that listening is one thing, applying is another. And so I would have those things playing in the background while I was doing what I was learning. So the activation of it is also the next way to control your mind, is actually physically doing what you're being told. And so I don't know about his trainings. I know that he's affected a lot of people, but there should be some things that you're listening to that are giving you to do things to do to help you grow that business or get out of debt, like specific tasks that are given to you that are simple to understand, simple to apply, and you go and you actually do them. Because the more that you do them, now you have ownership in it. Where you have ownership, you have commitment, and where there's commitment, there will be success.
Right.
So that's what it's about. It's don't look for entertainment, because listening for hours and not doing, that means it's just entertainment. And so I also had things playing while I was sleeping because my mind would attack me in my sleep. And so I made sure and trained my brain while I was sleeping. I trained my brain while I was working, and I was applying what I was supposed to be doing. And that, again, is what eventually trains and changes the mind. Thanks so much, Susan, for sharing. I think you're adorable, by the way. I love you. Like, well, at least I figured out what I was thinking about. You're right. That's important to like discern what's going through my head, but at the same time, feed your brain, and it'll begin to produce that which you are feeding, which is really important and powerful. Thanks so much, Susan, for calling. I appreciate you so much for reaching out to us and letting us know your thoughts on that. We've got Alicia Taylor from Ohio. Alicia, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, thank you.
Hi. So what's your definition of success?
I truly want to be financially fit, I guess you could say. I want to be able to pay my bills, and on top of that, be able to give both to the church, the community, and leave a legacy for my son, my daughter-in-law, and my future grandchildren.
Yes.
It's something that I've always dreamed of doing and just have not yet been able to.
Okay. So are you working towards it?
Not nearly as much as I need to be.
Okay. So what needs to change? You're the only one that knows, Alicia, what needs to change.
Yeah, I definitely need to dig in and actually just forget about, or maybe not forget about, but drive through the fears and anxiety that I have with the business and just work through it. I know that the only way to actually make it happen and to get through the fear is to do what you're afraid of.
Yes, but I have a question for you.
That are two different things.
Is your family more important than the fear?
Most definitely.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I know.
Are you sure? Or are you just giving me the right answer?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Are you sure, or are you just giving me what you think is the right answer?
I know that they are, and I've been looking deep inside to find out what exactly is holding me back from being able to give them what I want to give them.
It sounds to me like the priority really isn't them. The priority is your pride.
And you're right. You are right.
The pride is the priority.
Yeah.
The complacency is the priority. The excuses are the priority.
Definitely.
Those are the priority.
I know that it stems back from when I was young, and I don't know exactly where.
Does it really matter?
I never felt like I was good enough.
So how long do you want to keep thinking like that?
I would love to just be able to erase it, and I know that's not possible.
So how long do you want to keep thinking like that?
I don't want to anymore.
Who's in charge?
I am.
You are. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Alicia has some beliefs that are holding her back, but you haven't heard the biggest ones yet. When we come back, Dani will expose them and confront them.
Do you dream about feeling more confident, more beautiful, more powerful? But instead, you're that girl that never learned to do their makeup, and now you feel lost in a sea of YouTube makeup tutorials. Or you're that new mom that can't get enough sleep at night and just wants to feel pretty again. Or the busy professional that wants to magnetize brand new clients and get more respect in the office. From the boardroom to the bedroom, xmhbeauty.com will help you. Our company has a proven track record of making beauty available on any budget, from celebrities to girls just like you and me. Our live classes, step-by-step tutorials, and insider secrets will have you standing out from the crowd. Go to xmhbeauty.com/Dani today to get your free gift from us. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
In your face and in your corner. You've never had a coach like this before. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
We can say that our family is important to us. We can say that we want to do great things. But when it comes down to it, sometimes we abandon those things that we say are important to us and we make other things far more important, like fear. We make the fear of failure more important. We make procrastination more important than our family, more important than our vision, more important than our goal. Many of us find ourselves in that place. And if that's where you're at, you got to get yourself out of that. Joining me right now is Alicia Taylor from Ohio. We began a discussion before our last break, and I was asking Alicia some very important questions. First of all, Alicia, I have to commend you. The fact that you have a vision is huge. Most people, Alicia, don't. Most people have no idea what they want to do with their life, and they have it's not only no vision. If there is one, it's not specific. You gave me a list of specifics of what you wanted to accomplish. And that is huge and super important. But now it has been 13 years since you started a business that you're wanting to leave a legacy for your children and future grandchildren. You're wanting to be financially independent, and yet you're not quite where you think you should be after 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say it's your limiting beliefs, I don't believe in myself, it's the fears, and you and I were just kind of having this conversation back and forth about, well, sounds like the fears are a higher priority than your children. How do you feel about that right now? It's sobering, isn't it?
It definitely is. It's. I never thought about it that way, but that's absolutely the truth.
Yep. Is that the kind of mom you are? Is that the kind of mom you want to
No, absolutely not.
be? Well, who are you?
Oh, wow. I want so much more for my son and his
Why?
children than what I gave to myself.
Why?
Because I know that I deserved a lot more, and I just never allowed myself to grow there. And I want to be able to share that with my grandchildren and with my son and daughter-in-law, and I can't do that when I'm not the person that I need to be and that the person that God created me to be.
Okay. Since you pulled the guard card, I'm going to go here with you. Number one, I'm of the opinion that you and I deserve nothing but to die.
Right.
We deserve nothing. Absolutely nothing. You see, this entitled mentality says I deserve more. That's entitlement. I know I deserve to die. I'm a sinful, wicked woman. And without the blood of the Messiah that washes me and cleanses me, the wages of sin are death, and I should be dead. That's what I actually deserve. The things that I did in my past, the people I slept with, the drugs that I did, the alcohol that I abused, the people I abused, myself that I abused, I deserve to die. But only because of the blood of the Messiah that washes me clean, that I actually have the grace to live. That his love rescued me and washed me and purified me and gave me a fresh new start. And sometimes gives me a fresh new start every day. Because my natural tendency is wickedness. My natural tendency is not love. So you don't deserve squat either. I don't care how great you are and what of a state you are. You know the truth. You fail, just like everybody else. So, however, the other flip side of that God card is that his desire for you is more than what you're allowing yourself to receive. That he wants to bless you. He wants to shock you. He wants to blow your mind. He wants your generations to be blessed. He wants you to be in good health and to prosper you. He wants to raise you up as a light on a hill for all the world to see, that they would praise him for the good works they see you do. So it's about saying, yes, I receive it from you, God. And it's prospering where you're planted. It's being faithful with the business that he has given you. It is not walking in pride and ego with fear and rejection. All of that stuff is pride and ego, and it's straight up sin. It's absolute sin. It's the fear of man, and that is sin. So it's repenting from your sins. Father, forgive me. I have bowed down to the God of fear, and that is wrong. You are the one true God. The vision you gave me is worth my life working towards, and I'm going to honor you in the work that I do every day. That's a privilege to work. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
My name is Mario Johns. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I just want to share with you on April 14, 2013, that was the first day I heard the name Dani Johnson. And I was so inspired by her story. And I just had to find out, how did she go from homeless to millionaire? And it was just so inspiring to me. So I went on DaniJohnson.com, and I started getting the daily emails, the daily fixes. And then after a while, I just stopped reading them for some reason. And August of 2013, it was 4 days before my first event. After work, I went on YouTube, and I typed in Dani Johnson's name, came to my mind, so I typed it in on YouTube, and I sat at my kitchen table for about an hour and just listened to testimonial after testimonial. And I was just so inspired. I'm like, I have to get to this first steps to success. And I had no money. I didn't know how I was gonna get there. The funny thing was, a week prior to this day, I got a credit card in the mail that I never asked for. It was a $1,200 credit limit. I was gonna cut it up, but I figured I'd save it for like the emergency. I got my event ticket, my flight, and my hotel room. I maxed that sucker out, and I came down to Dallas, Texas. And the first 3 hours of the first day, I was just like in tears the whole time. I was just so blown away. It was something that I was just so hungry for. And prior to plugging in, I was a depressed, hopeless, suicidal drug addict. I hated myself, I hated life, I hated other people. I felt like a slave to debt, and I actually accepted debt as part of my life. I had toxic relationships, and I was, and then since plugging in, I've been drug-free for 15 and a half months now. I paid off over $13,000 worth of debt in a little over 13 months. I've completely restored my relationships with my family, my friends. I have amazing friends today from around the world. I love my life, and this is just an honor to be up on this stage. But if I just want to say, if you're new here, one thing that I wish I did is one of my favorite products is War on Debt, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't been following that as like I should be. My first event, if I got War on Debt and followed that with diligence, today I'd be debt free. So I just want to encourage you, if you're new here and you have debt, I highly recommend getting that, because that's by the end of this year I want to be debt free, and that's my goal. So So please help me welcome back to the stage America's favorite millionaire, Dani Johnson.
So, what is success? A big house? A big title? A big fat paycheck? Dani Johnson has had them all, and you need to hear what she discovered when she had them. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Have you bowed down to limiting thoughts? Have you bowed down to fear and rejection, the fear of man? If you have, it's time to change, friend. It is time to make a big change. It is time to feed your mind with the things that are going to move your life ahead. You need a vision. You need to believe in that vision. You need to be equipped to succeed in that vision, and you just need to take action. Those are very simple things to do. You know, I have to tell you something. Recently, I've started to look ahead into the future. And I'm coming up on an age that is rather monumental. In fact, it's not rather monumental, it is monumental. I'm a mom of 5, grandmother of 7, and in that position, I've got a 10-year-old granddaughter, which tells me, she's almost 11, which tells me that I'm inside of 10 years of being a great grandmother. Inside of 10 years, okay? Pretty confident. And I have another granddaughter that's just 15 months younger than she is. So I literally am inside of 10 years of becoming a great grandmother. And when I look at that, I look at who do I want to be? Who do I want to be as a wife physically? Do I want to continue on the path that I'm on of buying a lot of baggy clothes that hide the things that I'm not proud of anymore, that I've just kind of learned to accept that this is what's happening. Things are getting looser and the skin is getting wrinkled and man, your back starts hurting, your knees start hurting, your hips start hurting. And, what is the alternative? And so when I look around at people who are a decade ahead of me, and I look even ahead beyond that 2 decades ahead of me, I don't necessarily like what I see. I see a generation who has allowed themselves to become grossly overweight. I look at a generation who has succumbed to drugs and painkillers to help them get through the day. Not to mention, I've also seen tons of other medications just to stay alive. And when I look at literally the next decade and second decade from here, it's very scary because I don't want to be the person that's having to take 5 and 6 medications to stay alive. And I don't want to be the person who's suffering from all kinds of pain. And I don't want to be the person that has to have a bunch of knee replacements or hip replacements. I just don't want to do that. And so I've had to just change some of my mindsets recently. I really have. I've said that I hate working out and I haven't worked out for 30 years. I got pregnant 30 years ago and I was a competitive athlete before that and I just stopped. I didn't do anything after I got pregnant, and I just kept having kids, and I've just gotten away with not doing anything physically. And now that I'm reaching this certain age, it's making me go, hold on a second. If I keep going on this path with food, and if I keep going on this path with my lifestyle, and I keep going on this path with the way I'm treating my body, and that I'm not doing anything to make myself stronger. In fact, it wasn't too long ago that I was attempting to lift my carry-on bag into the overhead compartment on an airplane, and I do travel a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is getting harder for me to lift, which means that I'm getting weaker as the years go by. I actually am starting to get winded as I'm walking through huge airports, tugging a bag plus my purse. I don't like where this is going. And I've had to make some serious adjustments on my mind. You see, success is not just finances. Success is also your health. Success is the quality of your relationship with yourself, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren that you may get the chance to meet. Your success is bigger than how much you're going to leave behind for the next generation in terms of money. But it's also, success is what you can develop in skill and the skill that you can pass down to the next generation, 2 or 3, that I'm probably going to see my 3rd generation. That's what happens when you start having kids as young as I did. So I'm asking you right now, what is success to you? What does it look like to you? You see, I've had to add a new thing. And that new thing is that it is time for me to change my habits and it's time for me to strengthen my body. Instead of hiding myself under cover-ups, instead of hiding myself under big baggy clothes, instead of yoga pants, that help me to, hide the muffin top that's around my waist. This has to stop. And so it's the same for business. There's things that we just get lazy with. There's things that we just accept, and they're limiting. When you look ahead and you look into your future, do you like what your habits are going to lead to? If you don't, then you've got to make a change because time is ticking. I mean, it's moving very, very fast. And your life is going to, bam, all of a sudden you're 75. And you didn't do the things that you wanted to do. You're not where you want to be financially. You're not where you want to be physically. You're not where you want to be spiritually. You're not where you want to be emotionally or mentally. I promise you, everything goes by way too fast. And if you don't put forth a concerted effort, and if you don't make the choice to make the appropriate changes today, it's not going to get easier later. It's not going to get better later. It has to start right here, right now, today. So we're asking the question, what is success to you? What steps are you taking to achieve those things? What limiting beliefs have you allowed to stop you from the success that you desire? We're going over to Sarah from New Zealand. Sarah, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Wow, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for calling in all the way from New Zealand. It's awesome. Not the best time of day for you either. I thank you so much for your commitment. You heard that First Steps to Success is coming to New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I did. Oh, my goodness, I can hardly believe it.
Yes. Very, very exciting. All right, so tell me, what is your definition of success and what are you doing about it?
I used to think I knew what success looked like.
Yeah.
And then, because I've been listening to a lot of your YouTube and listening to some audio CDs that my friend Cindy Lou has loaned me, and I realised I don't know what success looks like at all.
Yeah.
I bought into what I thought it should be. So now I'm looking at this great big candy store of success, and I actually have no idea. I'm a little overwhelmed.
Yes. What do you want it to be for you? What is important to you? You see, some things are more important than money. And when money is the most important thing in our life, everything else crumbles. Our health gets destroyed. Our relationships become toxic. We waste our lives chasing something that runs just a little bit faster than we do. But what I have found that when money is put in the proper positioning of where it belongs, which is the last priority on the list, after your relationship with your God, whoever that is, after your relationship with your spouse and your children, after your relationship with yourself, after that, then comes work. Because if you are not loving yourself, come on, the greatest success book ever written talks so much about this. Love your neighbor, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, your community people, right? In that order, love your spouse more than everybody, your kids next, then everybody else, right? And it says, love your neighbor as yourself. So when you hate yourself, you don't feed yourself good food to sustain yourself and good health. When you hate yourself, you will not exercise properly to keep yourself strong. You know, the world that all of us humans were birthed into was a very physical world. The world we live in today is very non-physical. So the way our bodies were formed was to do physical labor, which kept us healthy, kept us strong for a very long time. Today's society, with all the conveniences and all the comforts, has made us lazy physically, has given us a sedentary lifestyle. Do you know what a sedentary lifestyle leads to? Pain and weakness. That's what it leads to. It leads to gaining weight. It leads to swelling and inflammation. It leads to bad cholesterol. It leads to heart disease. It leads to stroke. It leads to cancer. There's nothing that builds the body better than getting it healthy and physically strong. So when we love ourselves, we will care for ourselves. We're the temple of the Holy Spirit. We're supposed to keep it up. We're supposed to keep it healthy. We're supposed to keep it strong. We're supposed to keep the foundation strong. We're supposed to be emotionally, mentally strong. So in that order, loving yourself is part of the success equation. And then the money part of it completely changes. It's amazing to me how it completely changes when it's put in its proper place, because if you're taking care of yourself, you have more confidence. And out of the love for yourself, you can love others. You can treat others better. When you feel better about yourself, you treat others better and help them feel better about themselves. So you get to define what success is for you, Sarah. You're in charge. So what is that picture?
It's not a freaky idea.
Yeah. You can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you want to do. So here, we're about to go to a break. I have a question for you. I want you to think about it on this short break. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would your life look like? How would you live your life? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Coming up next, find out how Sarah answered that question. It just might change the direction of your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Prior to getting started with DaniJohnson.com and First Steps to Success, we were spending absolutely every dime that we made. We were really struggling financially. Since plugging in to First Steps to Success just 4 months ago, we started a brand new business that is doing very, very well. We've paid off $4,500 in debt, but the most important thing is my relationship with my husband has improved like dramatically. I mean, we have so much more fun together. You know, I don't know about you, maybe your finances, you're doing great, maybe you're debt-free, maybe your relationships with your spouse, with your family are great. But if not, if you have some areas in your life that feel a little out of control or there's things that you need to work on, I highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success as soon as you can.
Prior to being dragged out to First Steps to Success, I was hopeless. I had no point to life. It was a day-to-day existence, working a job I despised for people I didn't respect. Deeper and deeper debt every year. You just couldn't get on top of it. I just had no hopes or dreams, none at all, and there was no point to life. But since coming out, we paid off $280,000 worth of debt, married the woman of my dreams. I came to love my job and the people I work for. I have all kinds of hopes and dreams. I get to watch them happen every day. I don't know what your life is like, you know. There's probably tons of hope. You probably know why you live and you got places you're going, but if you don't, you need to sign up for First Steps to Success. You go to DaniJohnson.com and you click on it and be here, because your life will not be the same if you do.
Prior to First Steps to Success, I was drowning in debt, I was terrified of my bills, and I wanted to travel, but I never had the money. And since coming to First Steps to Success, in the last 14 months, I've paid off over $18,000 in debt. I've gone on 6 vacations, and I'm not terrified of my bills anymore. So if you want to learn some proven strategies to really learn how to connect with people, take your life to the next level, all while having a total blast, you need to get registered for the next First Steps to Success today.
Prior to coming to First Step to Success, we were totally struggling, totally under the weight of $640,000 worth of debt, making $20,000 a month, but living paycheck to paycheck. So when we came here and I realized that it takes a totally different skill set to keep money, to create wealth than it is to make money, I have totally turned around our lifestyle. We have paid off $640,000 worth of debt in 2 years. We are debt-free as of June of 2013. I don't know where you're at. You might have all your finances in order. You might have a wonderful life. Your marriage might be all perfect and your kids are behaving. But if not, if one of those things is lacking, you gotta get here. Book your next event. You need to be here. You will not regret it.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
If you knew you couldn't fail, how would you live your life? It's a question that I just asked Sarah, all the way from New Zealand, who's called in today with the overwhelming response to, I can design my own life. What does success mean to me? I'm overwhelmed with that even thought. So I asked her the question, now we're going to bring her back. Sarah, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? How would you live it? What would it look like?
I have no idea.
Yeah. You see, Sarah, a man without a vision will perish. And so many of us, so many of us are perishing simply because we have no vision. When we don't have a financial vision, our finances perish. When we don't have a health vision, our health perishes. We have a physical vision, our physical body perishes. When we don't have a vision for our marriage perishes. When we don't have a vision as a parent, we suck as parents. When we don't have a vision for our careers suck. But when we choose a vision, when we give ourselves permission to say, okay, I would like for this to change. I would like for this to improve. I would like to do more of this. I would like to see more of that. It literally is, I want you to sit down, gorgeous, with a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to look at every area of your life, and it doesn't have to be this huge, long page thing. Just, all right, if I knew I couldn't fail, without a financial vision, I will fail. So what's my financial vision? It doesn't have to be huge, Sarah. My vision in the early days was never to become a millionaire. Never, ever. When I was homeless, it wasn't to become a millionaire. I just never wanted to return back to broke again. If someone would have told me 10 years ago that I would build a multi-million-dollar company and not take a dime from it, not make a salary, and not touch the profits, but I'd give 100% of the profits away to the poor, I would have told that person they were smoking crack. Because I could care less about the poor 10 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, what? No, wait. No, it'd be like 15 years ago. You know, all I wanted was the big house. Why? Because I bought into status quo of success. So success was sold to me as a big house and a Mercedes-Benz. It was sold to me as having an expensive wardrobe, having tons of jewelry, which I did all of that. I had the big house. I had the Mercedes-Benz. Still have, not the big house, but I have the Mercedes.
It's so empty.
Say what?
It's so empty. I'm sorry.
Yes, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. And that's what I went towards because that's what was sold, right? That's what the market is selling us as to be success. It's Armani. It's I can't even remember all the stupid names, you know, Chanel and Christian Dior. It's all that crap. No, it's all empty and it's a big trap and all it does is take the wealth of your family and gives it to somebody else to build wealth on. And so when you really sit down and you get sober with the whole thing, you think, wait a second, but what's important to me? What matters to me? Why am I on this planet? What am I wired for? This changes everything.
I love taking photos.
You love taking photos?
Taking photos.
Okay, and photos of what? People?
Particularly landscape.
Landscape?
And rusty things.
Yes.
And that
awesome.
It coincides with the job I'm doing at the moment because I'm working out in the rural community. I'm sitting here looking at mountains at the moment. It's fantastic. It's freezing. It's fantastic. I'm on the phone to you. Oh, my goodness. Could my life get any better?
Yes, yes. So how awesome is that? And that's something that you can profit from if you wanted to? That's something that you could grow. Well, first of all, you're in a career being able to even see that. But you love beauty. You love beholding beauty with your eyes. And you love to translate and tell the story of beauty to other people. That you can see things that others cannot see. That's part of your DNA. It's part of how you were made. And you can use that. Wow. You can use that to bring that beauty into other people's lives. Whether it's Instagram or on Facebook or marketing your products even on Amazon.com. like turning them into prints on canvas. You know what I mean? I have one of my daughters that's doing that right now. She literally, she has just been enthralled with beauty. She wants to visit every national park around the world. She's photographing it and she's making money selling the prints of her trips. Like my daughter, who was like very driven, now is a tree hugging, like nature finding, staring at trees and looking at the Milky Way and taking photographs of it and making money from doing it. So anything is possible if you choose
We've got the
to
clearest
believe.
air down here. If
Well,
you want to come and take the photographs.
I'm pretty sure she's going to be down there at some point to be taking photographs. No question about it. But I love the fact that you love to do those things, and I love that you are gifted to do those things, and you're in a job to do those things. So you decide, you define it. It's your success. It's not anybody else's success. Nobody's. It's your life. And you don't have to live it according to status quo. You're going to live it according to your design, your makeup, what flows through you. That's what matters. Yes. Okay, we're going over to Sharonna from Kansas. Sharonna, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yes. So what is success to you, love?
Well, first of all, my very first steps was back in February in San Antonio. And it really boiled down to finding my identity in who I am in Christ.
Yes.
I just didn't have a very good picture of what that looked like. I was very broken, grew up in a home that was very interesting, to say the least. A lot of beliefs were told to me that I took and kind of held on to for many, many years. And so once I actually broke through that and actually found out who I was in Christ, everything else started to fall into place.
Yes.
Just finally, for the very first time, having a vision for every single part of my life, which was not before. A restored relationship with God was definitely my number one thing. Just, since that time, we've paid off over $13,000 in debt. We've had our marriage restored. I've restored relationships with my dad and my siblings. Now we're grooming our children for success. I'm actually even working on grooming my teenage brother. He's 13, grooming him for success because he's still in that situation. And he says, I don't know who I am. And even my sister. My sister's in her 20s now. And, I just really encouraged her to, sit down and figure out who you are in Christ. Sit down with God's Word and find out who you are, because you can't go any further until you know.
Yes.
And so it's just been amazing, incredible. I've got, I do have vision now.
Amen.
So exciting.
And it changes everything.
Incredible.
It changes everything. It changes what you do with your body. It changes how you treat your spouse, how you treat your kids, how you are at work, how you treat your finances. Everything changes when your identity is not locked up in what society says is success. Yeah. Congratulations on paying $13,000 worth of debt off in 6 months. That's amazing. I'm so very proud of you for getting a vision and restoring those relationships and learning new skills. I can't wait to see you at the next First Steps to Success. And I say to Sarah in New Zealand, that next First Steps in New Zealand is in August. You need to get a hold of a ticket into that, because you just heard a story of a woman who just attended. And look what's happened to her life, where she once had no vision and now she does. Now she does. You got to get a hold of this ticket into this event. It's amazing. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, this is Dani Johnson. Let me ask you something. Do you dream about being more confident, more beautiful, more powerful? Are you that girl who never learned to wear makeup and now you're lost in a sea of YouTube videos? That busy mom who can't get enough sleep and just wants to feel pretty again? Or maybe you're that professional who wants a little more respect in the office. From the boardroom to the bedroom, celebrity makeup artist Xtina Harmsworth from XMH Beauty will help you. Xtina has a track record of making beauty easy on any budget. Her live classes, simple step-by-step professional beauty techniques and insider secrets will set you apart from the crowd. So don't sit on your dream another minute. Learn from the best. Get your exclusive free gift from Xtina today at xmhbeauty.com/Dani. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI. This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
My name's Derek, and this is my wife, Michelle. And we're the Hollinsheds. We live in Covina, California, about 45 minutes from here. And we're extremely honored to be able to share our story. And when we were approached about it, I was kind of thinking, well, where do I start? Where do we start? But I'm going to start a few years back before there was a Michelle and Derek. Actually, I was actually debt-free, and kind of going along pretty good. And then a funny thing happened. I got married, and I married into debt. And okay, we're going to do fine. We'll pay it off, and life will be good. But a funny thing happened was that didn't seem to happen. Yeah, and as a result, just kind of thinking it's going to happen, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and something always happens, and and the result is debt doesn't get paid. So, it starts becoming like an old friend, and then unfortunately the marriage failed, but I was able to meet Michelle, and we got married, and married into debt again. only now it's a little bit bigger, but at least the house that I had, this was during the housing boom, so used some of the equity in the house to pay that debt off, and okay, we got a clean state. Let's go forward. And but in our early days in our marriage, we had some difficulty as far as being on the same page financially, and Michelle will share a little bit more about that. And I guess it's a good point for me to hand it over to her.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Like Derek said, honestly, you guys, the first 7 years of our marriage, when I came into our marriage, Derek he paid up my debt all. And I ran our debt up 3 different times in the first 7 years of our marriage, you guys. I would have never imagined being in that spot. Derek didn't trust me. And it finally got to a place where, my gosh, I can't keep doing this. I was pretty much told to come to this event by a good friend of mine, and it was the best thing she could have said to me because it's what I needed. I would have not have come had I not have had that charge and challenge that way. The moment I got here and we saw the war, I saw the war on debt, I said, this is it. This is our ticket. This is what's going to help us go to the next level. This is what's going to help us. You guys, we've since in 33 months, we have paid off over $159,000 worth of debt. We have money in savings. We have $300,000 in assets, income-producing assets. We continue to plug in. I was the first one to come, but immediately afterwards, I told my husband I couldn't wait. I called him. I told him about War on Debt. He immediately said, let's do it. We had some friends that hosted a War on Debt class there right after, and we went to it, and we found $502 worth of excess spending our first month, and we revisited our budget after that, and then we thought we were just broke, living paycheck to paycheck. We were overwhelmed. We felt hopeless. I never would have thought I would lose my husband's trust, and the techniques, the strategies that Dani Johnson teaches you guys helped us save our marriage, our finances, our communication. You guys, we started out with, my favorite product is spiritual equipping, and I know Darren has a favorite product.
We're on debt, and you think?
And you guys, we kind of bought things one by one. However, you guys have a great opportunity outside that door, that table out there, where you can buy the whole DJ University curriculum, and you get almost $1,000, over $1,000 off. So you have either option, but that's a great opportunity for you. Don't let anything stop you guys. There is hope, there is life, and I'm very grateful and honored to be here. So without further delay, you guys help us welcome back America's favorite millionaire and our mentor and coach, Dani Johnson.
It's time to take on a whole new mindset. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Man, I had fun with you today. I don't know about you, but gosh, did I enjoy every single person that I had the chance to talk to, and you, who we've been in connection with. I don't know if you connected with us on Facebook yet or not, but I really think it'd be very important for you to do that. Community is really, really vital for your success. You see, you're probably surrounded by people who don't believe in what you're doing. They don't have the same vision that you have. They're not working on annihilating their debt and developing a financial plan that is going to help them and their future and the future generations that are after them. You're probably not surrounded by a bunch of people who are attempting to get promoted in their profession in an ethical, moral way. You're probably not surrounded by people who are passionately in love with their spouse and are purposely grooming their children for success. You probably are not surrounded by people who want to grow and get to know their God more and have their life just spiritually sound as well as spiritually strong and experiencing the power of God. You probably aren't surrounded by a community like that, but there is a community out there that is just like that. Yeah, and giving to the poor. Not just to a church building. No. Not building another bigger church building. No. We are talking about a people, a community, a multitude, millions of people who are out there building villages for the extreme poor. Like, where else do you find a group of people like this? Right here. Destiny Global has a Facebook page. DaniJohnson.com has a Facebook page. Okay? Dani Johnson Live is the name of our page. There's almost 500,000 people congregating on that page. People who are focused and driven. Excellent. They're diligent. They're consistent. They're moving out of the muck mess of the life that they have built for themselves and creating a brand new life. There's so many profound stories, success stories that would just shock you that are right there on that Facebook page. Twitter, Instagram is the same name. Dani Johnson Live. That's Dani Johnson Live. The other thing I wanted to pass on to you was a copy of First Steps to Wealth. If this is your first time watching us, then please get your copy. It's free. You pay the shipping to get the physical book to your house, and we will send you the $15 book absolutely free. You can also download your free copy as well. Dial 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. Ask for Nate or Nellie. They are so happy to serve you right away. Just tell them you just heard at the end of the Dani Johnson Show that you could get your free copy of First Steps to Wealth. Now, because it's free, often people don't use that which is free. Don't you dare call in and get a free copy of this if you're not going to use it. You need to use it. Save it for someone else that's going to do something with it. That someone else needs to be you, friend. Get your copy right now. And by the way, you want to know more about this group of people who are building. In fact, we're in a project right now of building 1,000 homes for the extreme poor. I just came back from Nicaragua and Honduras, got to visit the families in which so many of us have rallied together to help build villages, like complete villages that are now sustained. They got clean water, they got electricity, they got a home, a real home, and a kitchen and a bathroom, as well as chickens that they're learning how to multiply so they can make money. So anyway, you want to join that? Go to kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, so you can learn more about it. Other than that, that's it for us today. God bless you. Have an awesome rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Did you hear that last segment? Do you know someone else who needs to hear it? Go to DaniJohnson.com, find today's show, and share it online. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson YouTube channel. We're super excited to have you here. And every single week, we're going to make sure that you get awesome videos for your business, career, making more money, saving money, annihilating your debt, as well as helping you to handle those really tough problems that you have with people at home as well as at work, and taking those really good relationships you already have and causing them to flourish and grow. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right down here. Click that and you'll be subscribed to an amazing community of people as well as some great videos that will help to improve your life. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe now would be good. Just click it. I know you can see it. It's somewhere down here. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.